All right, so we just, everybody's figuring out that Warner Brothers just canceled New Gods, which, if you don't know what that is,
New Gods was supposed to be a movie talking about, well, that race of people, and Darkseid technically belongs to them. And particularly if you are a fan of the Snyder Cut, you should be upset about this because, so even in that massive Hollywood trade, the Hollywood Reporter, they say in their article, New Gods would have been a spiraling tale was complicated by the fact that its villain, Darkseid, just appeared as a major foil in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, part of the reason why New Gods got canceled was because Darkseid was in Zack Snyder's Justice League.
which is pretty dumb. And honestly,
Imagine if Marvel Studios had canceled Infinity War and Endgame because Thanos appears for a very brief moment in Guardians of the Galaxy.
it's just dumb. On top of that, like, the fact that the Snyder Cut isn't canon is probably, like, one of the biggest reasons why, like,
The movie just keeps fucking up.
they just keep messing up. Like, honestly, back in the day, I get it. They were under pressure to, like, be like Marvel when they were nowhere in their league. And it makes sense why they messed up. But, like, the Snyder Cut was, like, quality. Batman versus Superman didn't even need to be there.
You know that also got screwed over?
Yeah.
Like, that whole process of Zack trying to make that movie apparent, the rumor is, but that executives came in and they started making decisions and cuts and changing things up to what he originally wanted as well.
But that's the point is, the Snyder Cut proved that, yes, it was a 4-hour movie, but it showed what I wanted to see from the beginning, which was backstory. Because again, at the time when that movie originally came out,
It was garbage.
it was garbage because there was no backstory.
No one cared.
Nobody
Yeah.
knew who, like, I was like, oh, Cyborg's in here, okay. But then there was no backstory. Oh, Wonder Woman was in there, but I think, like, had one movie come out at that time?
Yeah, before.
Like, one movie had come out, and then Aquaman was in there. Where was his movie? Hadn't come out yet. Yep. Superman and Batman were the only people who you could identifiably be like, oh, I know their backstory without even doing anything. But Cyborg and Aquaman, at the time, it was like they gave no context at all. So the fact for me is, like, that movie was without a doubt top tier, and for them to just be like, it's not canon.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to watch what you guys are making. I want to watch stuff like this.
It's even more upsetting when, well, one, it's more upsetting because of this whole New Gods thing, because the storyline between New Gods is, in the comics at least, was that, and the story, it's more upsetting with this whole situation with New Gods because one of the things that they were apparently messing and considering adapting for that movie was the whole relationship between Darkseid and his brother, who was the ruler of the New Gods, Highfather, and their constant war with each other, and then eventually they come to some sort of peace agreement which involves trading their sons. So that would have been an incredibly, like, it's an interesting concept, and that would have been a cool story to see. And they're like, no, because Darkseid appeared here, we can't have that story.
Well, that's what
dumb.
I'm also trying to figure out. How are they going to put Darkseid into all the other things? And, like, in the sense of, like, that movie sets up everything perfectly.
For real, yeah.
So how are we going to now backtrack and say, like, let's go piggyback off these old movies and change the storyline? It's like...
That's the other thing that pissed me off. So, about WB. So they, in August or July, late July or early August, they had this thing called DC Fandom, which was a DC event put on where they showcased all the projects they're going to do between books, comics, audiobooks, games, movies and TV shows, and all that stuff. And in that whole concept was, it's the multiverse. There's multiple continuities, right? So even if Snyder Cut is only a one and done thing, it shouldn't be, if you're gonna do the multiverse, why wouldn't you follow that through? Or have it be its own continuity and have it follow through with sequels.
Like, I know they have all the TV shows right
But
now.
also, like, hold on 1 second, let me finish. Also, why, if you're gonna do that, why wouldn't, there's no reason to be afraid about other projects connecting to it, because you can just go, oh, it's the multiverse. It's fine. Like similar events happen, but it's not exactly the same continuity. It's from a different universe. So who cares? But no, now they're just using that as an excuse to be like, don't worry about the continuity. We're just gonna throw at you whatever we want, and you're gonna enjoy it, even if it's terrible.
That's the thing is like that's why Marvel will always reign and be the leader in comics and movies because they make what the fans want and they stay consistent movie to movie with the overall storyline. Whereas like Warner Brothers, it's like this movie's made by that person, this movie's made by that person, and the creative visions are completely different and nobody really cares.
Yeah, there's no compromise. There's no leading figure.
Exactly.
There's no leading, like Marvel has Kevin Feige to lead them and put things together and whatnot. And Zack Snyder was that because he went to Patty Jenkins for Wonder Woman and one other person, for the David Ayer for Suicide Squad, apparently, and they hashed things out to make sure everything would line up. And then WB was like, no, we don't want to do that. It's like, what the fuck? If you're trying to compete with Marvel, then
they honestly
you think
could
their
if they
tactics don't
had
work?
done everything properly, they could have.
Yeah, exactly. If you're trying to compete with Marvel and you think their tactics don't work, then you're not going to be able to compete.
It's like, what are they even doing? Like, they have all these little TV shows going on right now, and most of them are kind of boring. Like, I was watching, the Robin, where he turned into, was it
Nightwing?
Nightwing? Yeah.
Oh, Titans?
Titans, yeah, that's what it is. And the first season was cool. Second season was just straight repetitive, and I was just like, okay.
All their shows do that. All the CW shows, Arrow, a lot of stuff was repetitive. Flash, a lot of that. Season 1 was actually a really good show. And then yeah.
That's what I'm saying is like their creative vision is a little iffy. And the fact that like the movies haven't really been there, like they release a movie damn near every 5 years. It's like y'all aren't anywhere near matching Marvel, and you really could if you just had a really good creative vision, which even the fans are like, Snyder Cut is definitely what I want to see more of. Maybe not another 4-hour movie, but at least something like that that's broken up.
I honestly didn't even mind it being a 4-hour movie.
I didn't either, but the majority of people are kind of be like, not going to be able. That's a long time to be sitting down and watch. Like,
yeah. Like if it was like, because he already had it in 6 parts. If that was a series, fine.
yeah.
And I'm not even like the biggest fan of Snyder's version of Superman or Batman, but it's interesting enough. Like that's not how Superman and Batman should act. And to most DC fans who have ever read or watched the older cartoons, they're like, that's not how they should act. But the concept is interesting. It's intriguing enough to me where I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll watch that. Like I'll have no issue watching that.
Yeah, like they were just overall quality movies. So I don't know. We'll see what they come up with. Hopefully they keep Zack Snyder's vision.
No.
Probably not.
No, they've already said they aren't. The Snyder Cut's supposed to be a one and done thing, even though he has it set up for 2 to 3 movies. So.
Exactly. So we'll see. But we're going to go ahead and end it there. Comment down below what you guys think about the Snyder Cut, what you guys think about Warner Brothers canceling this new project that would have been pretty cool to see, and just the overall scope of DC and their movies and where they're going.